Good morning and welcome to Fox 32 Sunday. I'm political editor Mike Flannery. The big statewide elections are over except for one. Here are the numbers in the race for Illinois Treasurer as of Friday afternoon. These are from Rich Miller's blog, CapitalFacts.com. Tom Cross and Mike Frerichs each have 48% of the vote out of about 3.5 million ballots cast. Representative Cross, the former Republican leader in the Illinois House, is shown with a lead of just 664 votes. Other reports put the difference between the two men at under 500 votes. Either way, it's a closeness of historic proportions, as mail-in ballots are still being counted as long as they're postmarked by November 3rd. The Cross campaign, though, is not waiting to see what happens. His team is making allegations of irregularities. Bill Quinlan is a lawyer for the Tom Cross campaign. He claims the irregularities are enough to raise some serious questions. Jim Allen is a spokesman for the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. He's the communications director and says there are no serious irregularities among the Chicago ballots. Bill, lay it out. What's the evidence in Chicago that there are problems we need to be concerned about?
I mean, I guess just simply the evidence or our concern is there have been votes that originally have been found that weren't part of at least the tabulations that we were told.
What do you mean found?
Well,
because the implication is they were off somewhere scurrilous.
Well, we don't know, and that's really what we're just trying to get answers, because I think, as you started at the beginning, is that these votes are going to matter, and that there were some votes that were, I just say, not in the process, that were later discovered, about 4,800 absentee ballots that we were.
So you're saying you don't know whether something scurrilous was done with the ballots or not. Jim Allen, you're saying you do know the answer to that.
No, in fact, you cited in your letter, which is, I'll tell you, I've never seen so many misrepresentations in one letter in 8 years with the Chicago Election Board. We have counsel with the Cross campaign. We've had more than 50 people working in our warehouse and at all of our early voting sites. We've had hundreds more. We've had every step of the way since early October Republican Party poll watchers in our operations, watching over every absentee ballot, every provisional ballot, and watching all the procedures therein. You're basing in your letter my email to the media. You were one of the recipients of this email.
Right.
All of the media were one of the recipients of the email, where you blatantly misread or misrepresented. I'm not sure which you choose, which is better. You blatantly misrepresented what I said, and that was that we have a universe of approximately 11,000 ballots that had been sent out that we don't know if they might come back, or the voters may have instead chosen to vote in precinct or otherwise. But
right. Bill,
you've misrepresented that email entirely.
All right, let me clarify that, because I think the concern is your email, as I'm looking at, says approximately 9,900 absentee ballots were received Monday and Tuesday, plus 1,500 that arrived on Wednesday. What I did, I guess, for you in the letter is I added the two, which gets to 11,400. And what you guys think that what you're referring to is 11,400 later in the email. So on that date, you said there were 11,400 absentee ballots that arrived. The following day, our lawyer, John Fogarty, was told it's 16,000. And our question, just to be...
No, right there, that's bad math.
Let me finish. There's not bad math. If you add 9,900 to the other...
No, because in that letter, in that email, it clearly states that that's the counts of ballots that were received Monday and Tuesday.
Right.
You make it sound like the mail stops after Election Day.
All right, let me...
We continue to get...
I guess we should explain.
Let me finish.
Can I let viewers in on this? So we do have a procedure now for this voting by mail that as long as Monday, November 3rd is the postmark, or something earlier than that, then the ballots will be received for 2 more weeks, and until this Tuesday, before we get a final tabulation. So you're complaining. How many ballots do you think have been treated not the right way, in a suspicious fashion?
Well,
how many irregularities involved? How many ballots are involved in irregularities?
The answer is we don't know, and we're just trying to get answers. We know of certain circumstances, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, look, we want to see every proper vote count. There is no dispute about that. The question is, we want to make sure that people, aren't being counted wrong, or they're not being counted twice. The point here is that we had the 11,400, and the following day we were told 16,000. It may be totally right, but we're trying to get answers, and we're trying to make sure it's the right.
I want to key in on the first words that you said, Mr. Quinlan, and that was, I don't know. Because you haven't been there. When I talked with your co-counsel, who has been there every day since early October, he expressed embarrassment for this letter and said he wished he'd seen it before it gone out. The fact is, this is filled with misstatements of fact. It's filled with speculation.
All right, let me ask you, Jim.
It's wild.
Jim,
we
have
have
3 minutes left.
We have every ballot application that has come in. You've been able to check the signature. You've been able to check the veracity of every registered voter. And the question is, what are you trying to suppress and why?
We're not trying to suppress anything. And look, one, my co-counsel is the one who gave us this information, was filled up. And second, more importantly, you admit in your letter that there are certain ballots that were counted that shouldn't have been counted. And look, I think as we started, this race is going to come down potentially to hundreds. We just want to ensure that this is done as right as we can, and we get as much information as we can as to where, like these ballots that were just located, these approximately 4,000 or 1,400, excuse me, I misspoke. 1,400 absentees that were just located.
They came in the mail. They're from legitimate registered voters who cast ballots. Who are you trying to disenfranchise?
Hold on. In your letter, you say they were found in a closet.
No. Now that's a total gross
I can
misrepresentation.
quote it. Look, we're trying to get, as anybody would, because these votes are going to matter.
Found in a
stop
closet.
you guys there?
That's,
so
a
Jim,
gross, that's a gross statement.
These 1,400 ballots.
That's just
okay. So
as a Blanco attorney, I thought you knew only about elections, but let's set it straight. There were ballots that were opened in front of Republican poll watchers that then could not be processed that night, that were secured inside of a locked, first sealed in front of Republican judges in a box, and then locked away in a closet within a locked room. That's security. That's security. That's not they came out of a closet. They were opened up first in front of Republican poll watchers. That's what I mean. You don't know because you weren't there. We've had people there since the beginning of October. What is going on with this letter? It's a steaming heap of letter.
Well, I think then you got to talk to Mr. Fogarty because the information he's providing to us, and so have I. And more importantly, look, one thing that's clear is this was atypical. And what we're trying to find out is how did it happen? What's the background? Who touched the votes? How did they get moved? Where did they go? Those are all information. When these are going to matter, this might determine the election. I think it's very fair just to say we're trying to get information.
We have 30 seconds left. Can I give Jim the final word here? Okay, the allegation was made that 99 ballots have been intermingled that perhaps shouldn't have been counted. In a nutshell, what are you going to do with those ballots?
There are 99 ballots that are part of a batch of 585. And we can't disenfranchise the 486 that we know are good. They're intermingled. There's no unscrambling of that egg. So if it were to go to court, we've separated those votes so that a judge can determine what can happen. But more importantly, there are all these allegations about thousands of ballots surfacing, and it's just false. They said they were surfacing in the warehouse, and we didn't have a chain of custody. It's absolutely false. It came from the judges of election who had sealed their transfer cases. This is a 100% transparent process with all your poll watchers there.
And you invite Mr. Quinlan to go. Why have you not gone to get an injunction? Why are you going to seek a recount?
Well, we didn't go to see the injunction because what we asked for, and I think I just got the letter, what we're just simply asking is preserve this so it won't affect our ability to take a look at this information. That's all we want to do.
Thank you very, very much. When we come back, up next, we talked with a military expert, a journalist who has covered this plague of suicides among those who have served our country. 22 veterans a day killing themselves. It's absolutely shocking. That's coming up next. This is Fox 32 Sunday.